call Austin, put some snaps.
Hey, my name is Post Rock. Legendary, Lowdown, One Up, AOM. You are now rocking with the best, the Windy 101. Get in tune, subscribe, motherfucker.
What up, y'all? Back here again with some cool ass shit for y'all to see, and the homie in the fucking crib. First off, that's the homie Mexico. Mexico!
No, we're not doing that no more. Alright, so we're not doing that shit anymore. My name's Mexico, your favorite fat boy, just here with the homie Tamper.
Hey!
And we're repping the Windy 101.
Woo! Windy 101. Make sure you tell everyone about what you know about us.
Like, share, subscribe.
Hit the buttons, the links, the bells.
Yep.
Yo, who we got here?
We have the one, the only, the man, the legend, the old school, the new school. This motherfucker's been around, been consistent, been smashing shit, north to south, east to west. The man.
He's not even the myth. This is Post.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Post Rock up in here. One Up, LD, AOM. You know, the TMR conglomerate. We're up in here, James family. There's a lot of things a lot of crews out here that I represented over the years, but those are the main sticking ones. The one you peas, the ones you praise. Lowdown, LD, established St. Louis, nationwide though, and the AO Mafia getting it in.
Well, damn.
Shit, I think that we're out of tape.
Now that we're done. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yo, let's start from the top though. Actually, top, bottom, whatever. Let's start from the beginning. When did this shit all start for you, man?
Well, graph started for me at an extremely early age. So I had been dealing with some like home issues with my parents. My mom was an alcoholic, and my father just kind of had to deal with the abuse part of that shit. And during the 80s, it was super popular for people to get divorced, you know? It was the tearing up of the American family, as they see it, not only, you know, the tearing apart of the African American family, which I do believe was a government implemented plan, but just families in general, you know. So it was a popular thing for people to get divorced. During that time, my mom would have to go downtown to see her lawyer, and there were quite a few times, maybe like 3 or 4 times, that she couldn't find a babysitter, and she took me on the train on the Blue Line, heading downtown, and this was November and December of 1987.
It's facts now.
Yeah, so this was December '87. Really, first rooftops I saw was like Pango. I remember seeing Pango was the first name I ever really remember seeing, and that dude, to me, he was always like a legend. Like, I saw a bunch of other stuff, a lot of tags back in the day, you know, and it fascinated me, you know. I was always artistically inclined when I was a shorty, so part of the thing for me was taking art classes and experiencing new things. I had family members who really encouraged that, because they knew that, like, oh yeah, you're going through some family difficulties, you know, dive into something that's going to be good, encouraging, and creating. Well, so I started doing just art in general. Just life is art, you know. You're doing projects as a kid, and then I was at an art school, and I saw a hardcover book called Subway Art, and I'm sure everybody, not everybody, but the majority of us know, and that's where a lot of us got our start.
Look it up if you don't know.
Yeah, Martha Cooper, Henry Chanflant, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that last name right.
I can never get it right either, man.
Yeah.
There's like a little like accent to it.
Yeah, salute to them because they were the pioneers for the documentation of what's become not only an amazing community, and it's not even a subculture anymore, it's the culture.
It's the culture.
You know? We as graffiti writers individually and as writers collectively have turned this into an enterprise, and you know, it's good that people are making money off of it, but there's so much innovation going on out there with different styles, and you know, even though they say, you know, everything's been done before, it's not really true, man. There's envelopes that are still being pushed. There is something to say, though, for classic fucking graph. You know, smashing, doing just as much as you can, you know. I'm the type of writer, I started out with quantity and then went to the quality, you know. And at first it was hard for me, you know, like I was a scribe king, self-proclaimed, you know.
Facts, I seen I was there.
Lots of them actually.
Yeah.
More than you want to give themselves credit to, but
so like yeah, what I used to do is they'd have series of buses, like the 5600s, 57, 8s, 6000 series, and then they had, you know, 6100, 6200. So I would just make a list and put 61 on the top of the page, and then 01, 02, all the way to 99. And then I would, you know, take care of every one I could. And if it was in a different spot, you know, I'm left-handed, so I got to do a lot of spots that other writers weren't doing because majority of people are right-handed. So they would go behind the side of the bus. They would be on the side of the bus that the bus driver was on. Well, I would try to get up as far as possible and on the right side of the bus, opposite where the bus driver's sitting. So I kind of like found a little uniqueness in spots. But even my scribes were whack. I had box scribes, sandpaper, and you know, like you know, little metal sharpeners, whetstones, you know, to do lollipop tags. And I had a hard time, man. People hated on me. I was definitely toyed, but I had a certain level of motivation that just like drove me. And it wasn't so much that I was motivated just because people weren't feeling me. It had nothing to do with it. Really, it had to do with, man, I love to do it. I love the feeling of doing it. I loved seeing my name up. Like I fantasized at night when I couldn't go outside of me going and getting up, you know, and that was from the earliest of ages.
Is there any other physical activity you can attribute that to? Like, you know, a lot of people are like, I don't understand it, I don't do that, but they need to relate to something. So like some cats are like, yo, it's like basketball, or honestly, some people.
I can tell you from my experience, and this is just me. You know, everybody else has their own personal experience, but I'm also into fitness, and one thing that I fully believe is graffiti is much like bodybuilding, and much like weightlifting and things of that nature, because when you're painting and you're getting your style down, your can control, things of that nature, it's a mind-muscle connection. So you're learning how to do these things, right? Same with working out, same with going to a gym. You start out, you know, you're unfamiliar, you're a toy at the fucking gym, you're insecure, you think people are gonna laugh at you, and some are, but those are the ignorant fucking people.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
And it's the same way in the graph game. Those people who laughed at you and talked shit, You know what? They were at the same spot at one point. We all started at ground zero and had to build our way up. So nobody has any fucking reason to say they're better or fucking look down on somebody. So anybody watching out there, don't do that shit, because that's some stupid ass bullshit, man. Trying to pull people up, not break them down, you know? If you're gonna break somebody down, you better have a relationship in which you can break them down and then build them up, you know? That's how it is.
It's called constructive criticism.
That's right. We all started somewhere. I started fucking doing tags on garbage cans, on all the garbage cans in my neighborhood, and I just strictly stuck to my neighborhood. It was it. Like, I didn't go anywhere else. It was just Albany Park. I crushed all the garbage cans, all the alleys. I was the king of that shit. And then, of course, everybody was like, that's it? That's all you got? You're just gonna stay in the fucking alleys and do little tags and shit? I was like, all right, well, fuck you too.
Right.
So I went out there, did some outlines, did some tags, and
It's different for everyone. I came up different. I definitely was on the alley. What was it? It was alleys, phone boxes, streets,
Phone boxes.
rooftops, buses, trucks,
Bus
more
shelters.
rooftops, and then trains. Still haven't even done trains, but I got my notoriety. Either way, though, you still get known for what you're doing on that, and everyone's gonna talk shit about it. So I mean, fuck them, because they probably are sitting somewhere being whack anyway. Because everyone who made fun of me was whack about it. While I was doing all that other shit, I was around a lot of people who was doing pieces. So like, I was conflicted. Like, do I get up or do I go do these beautiful pieces? But hand styles are dope. We're over here doing stickers because we like hand styles.
Yeah, most definitely. And I was just thinking, you were mentioning, you know, how'd I get a start? And I just mentioned like those first train rides and how I saw the writer Pango. But let me mention some other forefathers who, in my opinion, they need mentioning, at least for me.
pay attention.
Yeah, right off the top, we gotta go with 76 SOS, 56 Scarce. We gotta go with Act and Flu, and Rest in Peace Pile.
Yeah.
We gotta go with Gooey, G-U-E-Y. Gooey was a beast back in the day. We gotta go with Cabby and Loeb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like I was saying, you know, I came up around a J4F neighborhood, and that was cool. You know, those guys were, as far as the graffiti game went, they were admirable characters, you know. And this is also, might I mention, this is early 90s, 91, 92,
Damn.
or 90, 91, 92, when I was like really starting to pay attention to that stuff. I didn't realize just how many writers actually stayed right where in the neighborhood I lived in. So that's how I got the initial exposure. My first writing experience was in 1992. It was like, it had to have been like either this week or next week, because it was right during the first couple weeks of the opening of the Cubs season.
Wait, you have it that close to memory?
Yeah, it was the beginning of the Cubs season, and I went with my boy Paul Powers. I'll name him by name, Mr. Officer Paul Powers of the Chicago Police Department, who, man, he was my homie back in grade school, and we went on the Addison bus and the Blue Line from Jeff Park, and we bombed the whole way, and we tagged the whole way, and that was my first time getting up, and it was early. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. We were on our way to Wrigley for a 1 o'clock start, you know.
Hey, yo, bro, it's Cubs opener. It's 1992, man. We don't have a better year to do anything, man. When you do, let's go write on some stuff, bro. Let's write on some shit.
Yeah,
right now, it's the Cubs opener.
It wasn't the opener, but it was close.
Nah, it'd be a funny ass story.
I did catch a couple tags at Wrigley Field on the seats, sandpaper scribes like an asshole, but hey, you know,
They're in
those
someone's
are
living
shit.
room right now because they used to sit in that seat. They were sitting in that seat every
Yeah,
brick in the whole
I
room.
used to
you know what I'm
love
saying?
They're
those
appreciated.
big ass,
Right.
fat ass tags that just take up the whole.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, really, when I started to get up was 92, but really 93 is when shit took off. Everything took off that year. I started to rap that year. I was already really, really good at writing, just regular writing. My mom's a college professor, so I was exposed to some teachers and situations and classes and shit like that just pushed me along a little bit further. So I got into rapping, and the whole hip hop thing just took me by storm. And 1993 is when I really took off with it. I always had the name Post. It's the first name that I ever had. It was the 5th grade basketball team. At the time in 5th grade, I was like 5'7", which is ridiculous for being in 5th grade.
Right, because I'm like 5'9" now.
You know, I was a really, really tall kid when I was young. And some people thought I was gonna get up to like being like 7 feet. Thank God I'm not near that, you know. But
I see it. I believe
you know. But they used to run a play for me on the basketball team called the post play, and I would just post up on the block, and they would pass the ball to me, and I would turn around and hit an easy layup because they just told me. Hold the ball up high and they won't be able to grab it without fouling you, and then just learn how to shoot it like that, and you got it.
They were like, "This is dribbling, though. Remember dribbling."
I mean, I had handles in the shot too, a little bit. You know, that developed over the years, but really, that's where the name Post came from. It came from the 5th grade basketball team. 6th grade, I got kicked out off the basketball team. I got into a fight with some fucking kid on another team. We were fighting for a rebound, and I threw like a Charles Barkley elbow to his stomach, and he dropped. And then I got in trouble, and it was like, "Fuck you."
Hit him with the elbow.
You know.
Wow.
And then, you know, oddly enough, that was the year that I started to write. So it all kind of
hobby switch, sports switch.
Oh yeah, and this is one thing that I'd like to mention. This is a public service announcement for younger people trying to get in the game and really make something of yourself. You have to realize graffiti is a fucking full contact sport. This is fucking the ultimate sport.
Brother! Oh yeah!
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I'm off the top rope with the fucking frog splash every time I go out. The thing that I want everybody to know is that if you're gonna participate and be down in the graph game and not just fade away after one arrest and one case and some bullshit probation or whatever the fuck your situation is, if you're gonna fall off and die like that, don't even fucking bother. When I say full contact sport, it means that you have to train for this shit, man. I'm glad to see that there's some graffiti artists out here in Chicago who are actually out doing spots, like brolic spots, nice spots, with good style.
Yeah.
You know, I've been seeing it getting better and better. I'm proud of you Chicago motherfuckers, a lot of you, even my enemies. You know, I'm proud of you too. Like, you're all developing, we're all fucking growing and doing that shit. Kudos, you know. But man, keep practicing. Get in the books. The people who don't improve aren't in the books.
You
They're
stay
not
stagnant.
doing the extra work that it takes. So make sure that you're going to walls and just practicing outlines. Fuck doing the whole piece, just do the outline 5 times so you can get the outline down, you know? man, do the shit that it takes to make fucking sure that when you gotta show and prove, you can actually talk the shit that you run behind your goofy ass keyboards. You know?
Tell them.
So
all of it.
Like this is how it needs to be, gentlemen and ladies.
Goddamn.
And much respect to the ladies, man. The ladies have been putting it down. The Chicago community, even though we're always at a shortage, and I do encourage females, if you got the urge and you want to paint, you know, go and do it, you know.
And you can do it without just being the cute girl who paints. Get some fucking skill. Our women have mad skill right now.
You know?
Like, I'm not saying they didn't before, but if you weren't paying attention right now, our ladies got some skill. It's fucking nuts, actually.
They're doing like full out.
We don't even bring it up that often because we just go, yo, that writer's killing it right now. Whereas a lot of other times they're like, she's good for a girl. Nah, we don't really have girls who are good for a girl. They're good.
Yeah, they're just really good.
They're fucking good.
So salute to them, because there's definitely been an evolution. So I just want to say that we're fucking, at this point, we're trying to stay supportive of everybody. The young people, the females, even the old heads who are reluctant to come back out. My main thing for graffiti, I like teaching the youth and I like bringing shit to people, but my thing that I get off on is painting with a fucking old school legend type painter, or just even a fucking old school dope dude who wasn't the fucking greatest, but like you knew who he was and fucking y'all got fucking like y'all can link up. Like, do that shit, because that's what makes me fucking excited about graffiti, is those links and those bonds with those people. So I encourage everybody to come out and fucking support your own community, man. It's time. Chicago's the shit. You know, we're the shit. And the summertime, bitch. What? Man, I'm in it for the love of doing it, and for the fucking absolute murder, destruction, and anything that you could think of that involves smashing the city with some good form of graph. That's what I'm on, and that's what I fucking stand for.
Speaking of which, what's your favorite to hit up? Like metal, cement, sides, rooftops, tunnels.
And I know you did it all.
You're every fucking where.
For the most part.
So like we can't really be like, oh, we think Posta's expressways. Nah, that motherfucker was hitting everything like consistently. So I've always wondered if you had an order. If I was like, yo, actually no, it's a two-part now. In order, I guess, of what you would hit, and if you had nothing else to hit, what would be the last one ever? Two-part.
So my favorite thing to hit, if I was able to hit anything, well, it would obviously be metal. There's nothing better than doing it clean. It's been a few months since I was around that, and then before that it had been multiple years, just because, but the fucking thrill for it is still there. It's just, when you get older, you have to evaluate fucking where you're at, and but that would be my choice, man. Nowadays, in my advanced age, I would say my favorite thing to do overall would definitely be freights, man. Freights have extended the life of my career. It's given me a new perspective on such a wide variety of people who just love the art form and, you know, rip to the Kodak kid, you know, the people who do monikers, the people who like keep it in tune with the freight community and who really like hold it down. Like nowadays, those are kind of my heroes. And that's my favorite shit nowadays is freights.
So in your long career, how many places have you hit? Like I know you've been to St. Louis.
Shit, I want to say I've done like probably about 30 cities. I've done a fair share. Like I spent a lot of time on the road for a few years, and it really helped me gain perspective on different graph communities. But I've done a lot of cities out on the West Coast. I did Los Angeles several times, San Diego. Let's see, I did Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thanks for my godmother for keeping me up and then taking me to the Home Depot knowing damn well I was gonna go and paint some shit.
Nice!
Shout out to the godmother.
Did she scoff or she was just like, alright, what time?
She was kind of pissed, but I told her, you know, this is what I do, this is my life, and like, this is part of the reason that I came out here, so either you can like accept that or, you know, I'll just keep moving, you know. She was like, well, no, don't keep moving. I'm like, alright, that's fine. So I did Albuquerque, I've done Phoenix and Tempe. Fucking Tempe's pretty cool for a little. All these cities are like, compared to Chicago, they're like rinky dink. You know, except for LA. LA's just a big urban sprawl.
Yeah.
It's so like spread out, kind of. Let's see, yeah, and then we get to the Midwest, which is, I've done everything in the Midwest. I've done the Twin Cities. I've done Milwaukee, Madison. I've done Door County, Wisconsin, Sturgeon Bay. I did a bridge in Sturgeon Bay randomly.
That's
crazy.
It's a sport, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Running Man.
Running Man like a motherfucker. Arnold Schwarzenegger on that ass.
I'm Arnold, bitch.
Weird cart with a cage on it now. Whole game start.
Alright.
What are your influences, man? What and who, I guess? Who
Well,
mostly, I guess, in this game?
Well, as far as graffiti influences, I've got quite a few. Off top, I want to say since my initial stuff was out of subway art and out of that like book and those people, so I want to give a shout out to rest in peace Dondi, of course, the godfather of graffiti and one of my actual heroes. Scene, UA, United Artists. Scene is just a machine. He's the legend that fucking graffiti fucking should be established on. He's gonna go down in history as one of the most important painters of the last century, you know, because he really helped, you know, contribute to bringing the art form to the forefront, especially pushing styles. And then when it comes to styles also, I want to mention Nick One, AK, from New York. His sketchbook work that I seen in old school shit was crazy. And then the other couple influences is like Futura. I love that type of abstract art, and that's also something that you know, is a different medium that I concentrate in as well. I do abstract art and do a lot of canvas work nowadays. Graffiti influences as far as here in Chicago. Well, I'll obviously go with the first one. The first person I mentioned was Pango. Pango is an amazing artist all around, just knows all the fancy little techniques, and now he's got good paint, you know, instead of the cheap paint and the oven cleaner caps, and you know, like, so he's just evolved, and that's been a great thing, you know. I want to give a shout out to people like Civil, Raven. Raven was fucking really big on, like, not necessarily my style, but how to do a balanced composition. And that's something that he always had to do because he stretched his letters, and things were just very like congruent and symmetrical, and you know, I learned a lot from him. On the bombing tip, I want to give a shout out to Missile, J4F, FIK. He took me under his wing when I was 18 years old, or 17 years old. I had just got into FIK crew, not even a year before, and I was starting to make some noise, and they wanted me to get with the old schoolers to pick up some tips. So Missile took me under his wings and really showed me what it took to be a man in the graffiti game, as far as you want to take over in one weekend with a trunk full of racked paint and only black and white.
Keyword mission.
Yeah, black and white, and doing missions like the whole weekend. And he showed me how to go all city with it, and it was a formula that I used, but just implemented different types of things. So instead of going and doing a bunch of tags off of like every pole and every can off of the alleys of the blue line, with whites on the garbage can, on the dark colored garbage cans, I was hiding under train stations and hitting boxes, the lower boxes underneath the steel panels on the trains, like, so just like that. Let's see, there was Missile, Act, Flu, those guys really pushed me hard as bombers. There's fucking Dream from FIK. If it wasn't for Dream from FIK, I don't think I would have ever really truly evolved into the piecer and type of artist that I am today. He really gave me the confidence to move forward with my art at a time when a lot of people were like, oh yeah, dude, you're just gonna be a tagger and a scriber and just doing regular fills for, your whole life. And oddly enough, Dream took me about 200 feet from where this fucking interview is being done, right below us. And I did a Hagar the Horrible quote piece with Hagar the Horrible as my O, because because I used to write quote too, and I also wrote Avers. So there's a Aver in War Crew, but I wrote Avers way before that dude. So I've had 3 names. That's a story for a different day. But yeah, Dream took me here. I did that quote piece, the Hagar the Horrible shit, and that really like set the tone for me. And then I had the confidence to really do it. And then once I saw that I could do it, and I did it with somebody who like I really, really admired. And usually, you know, that's when a younger cat cracks up, you know. Well, I didn't crack under the pressure, and
head didn't swell.
Yeah, soon enough, I was around like a lot of heavy hitters, you know. I want to give a shout out to 2113 West Webster, UAC house, at UAC's crib, where we used to have all the parties back in the day. That's where I met so many writers who I respected. Back to people who were influences for me. One of the biggest influences in my life is my homeboy Dare. Rest in peace forever, brother. I love you. You're sorely missed. I think about you every fucking day, man. Every day. And that dude, he not only showed me, he didn't show me anything that I didn't already know, but he showed me a level that I hadn't got to yet, you know, and he pushed me to that level, and I pushed him to a level, you know, and then we became a dynamic partnership, and, you know, the rest is in the history books for that, you know. But Dare really helped me push the envelope as far as, you know, bombing and doing insides. Yeah, that's the other thing, man. In order to be a real king in the city of Chicago, you gotta start mastering all the elements. You gotta be a king of doing insides. You gotta be a king of doing stations. A king of doing fill-ins, a king of doing tags, fucking, you know, etch bombs, fucking hollows, you know, mailboxes and fucking, you know, everything. There's so many different angles.
There's a lot of angles in Chicago that you can't miss because someone's either already doing more than you or you need to step your shit up on it. I will say that.
But I want to give everybody some encouragement because there's people who have done it before you, and we laid the work and did the time for the crimes to make it easier for you guys now. Because the way that the shit is going, it's easier to paint here. It may not seem like that, but it's probably because some of you motherfuckers is just dumb as a rock, you know? But yeah, all in all, those are a bunch of my influences. Oh, give a shout out real quick to everybody in Cab Crew. Seal Fresh was a huge influence. Worm, always a huge influence. Teasin, who's also my LD brother, he was a big influence. And then also on the other side, for some FTR brothers who really actually helped me push the envelope at a time where I needed to be pushed. So yeah, this guy right here, Tamper, he's FTR. You know, I'm FIK alumni, as is Mexico, and you know, we've got a solid foundation built between the two crews, you know, and that's something that's, you know, been beautiful and extremely gratifying for my graph career. So for that, I'm really grateful.
Hell yeah, dude.
And thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate it.
It's always good to see you, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
Coming out here, hanging out with us.
Sure.
Letting the people know what you're about and all the dope stories, fucking awesome stories.
Mad stories, dude. Y'all don't know you can go on forever, but You got anything any way we can get a hold of you? Or should we just see you in the streets?
Yeah, just check me out. Infinitely Posted on Instagram. If you want to check out the page, show some support, show some love. I'm also going to be starting some new projects, so definitely check out the IG to see where the new projects are leading, because that means there's opportunities for you motherfuckers out there to possibly win some free art, get some sticker packs, some prints, some limited edition prints, and maybe for one of you lucky ladies, a dinner with Uncle Hostgrop.
Ooh!
You know, I got that gift certificate to Lettuce Entertainment.
So you guys know, follow the man. We're gonna leave all the descriptions at the bottom, all the links, all the info. Shit, thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Post. This is Mexico.
Yo, this is Al Tamper.
This is Post Rock.
Post Rock.
That's right, and this is Dope.
The Wendy 101.
That's right.
101.
Yo, this is Al Tamper.
I'm Mexico.
Yo, this is Wendy 101. Click all these links around the fucking squares and shit.
Or hit the bell. Just
And hit the bell. Just hit the bell, wherever it is.
See
Tell your moms. It might be cool for you.
what he said.
Killing your feelings with skillings, drilling the millions. Idiots really missing his son and the men they minions. These silly kiddies plead the fifth with that lip they flapping. Trust we checking shits because Telly said slap the shit out of them. Up in your crib like it's Penaz, I put my feet up. Right after your party where your crew just watch you get stuck up. That shit was only practice, we still call that up and coming. All we do is show up. Motherfuckers start running, all we do is